Hey guys, Dennis here, Muddy Water Search and Recovery, and I released this video just shortly ago. Dan let me know there was no sound, so I'm redoing this. I'm not sure what happened with that, so we will try to get that fixed for this video. But I wanted just to kind of go over my thoughts on Alex's case, some of the directions I'm going on this case, what's leading me to those directions, etc. I'm not trying to influence anybody's thought process on this case. I just want to kind of share where I'm at and the direction that we're going. I do want to start by saying, when I first started working on this case, initially my first thought was suicide. And the more I looked into it, the more I saw the inconsistencies, and it just started not adding up. So instead of trying to prove this is not suicide, I decided to take the approach to try to prove that it is suicide. So through all of this, I've been trying to prove that it is, but I'm having a lot of issues there. I have not been able to prove to myself that this is suicide. So I'm going to kind of go over some of my thoughts on these things and some information on that to kind of let you know kind of where I am on this. I do also want to mention Alex had weakness in his left hand due to some previous injuries, to the point he struggled to even pull the clutch on a four-wheeler. And his mom also said his hands are really small. And some of that will be more relevant later into this. We now know that the search dog arrived roughly 40 hours and 16 minutes into Alex's disappearance. The search dog does have a history of following trails that are 48 hours old. So we're talking 40 hours here, so we are still well under the 48 hour window. I apologize for that. So we are still well under the 48 hour window. The search dog has a history of following a trail. The search dog followed Alex's trail for 0.3 of a mile. That's really not that far. This is where the search dog lost Alex's scent and never picked it back up. This leads me to believe that Alex actually got into a vehicle 0.3 of a mile down the road. That is outside of the viewing angle of the security cameras on their residence. This tells me he was picked up in a vehicle. The fact that Alex has asthma to the point that he needs an inhaler to walk around the block on a nice day tells me he did not walk 10 miles on a night that the temperatures were under 20 degrees while double layered in clothing with a foot of snow on the ground, and did not take his inhaler. And I do want to say it was, I've got it, it was approximately 11:44 p.m. when Alex went missing. So I don't believe he walked that far without his inhaler under those circumstances. I believe he was picked up in a vehicle. I personally believe something may have happened in this vehicle that caused Alex to possibly draw his gun in self-defense. And remembering Alex is 5 foot, 90 pounds, weak on the left side, small frame, small hands, he could easily be overpowered and not leave any marks, no physical damage. And the fact that it is in the reports that forensics also searched for the shell casing on scene, to the point they even used a metal detector, and they did not find a shell casing. We're talking a foot of snow. That shell casing is not going down far in that snow. Yes, it may come out hot, cause some snow to melt and sink down in a bit, but it's going to cool very quick, and they're going to find that with the metal detector. So this makes me believe that he was not shot right there. The lieutenant with the city police even made the comment he thought that Alex's body looked like it had been posed in that position until new information come to light. The lieutenant did not explain what the new information was, and I did not see anything in any of the reports that would indicate new information that would change like that. The fact that the autopsy report says the projectile went from right to left. We covered this in the reenactment video from last night, meaning that they say the bullet entered through the right temple, leaving a 6.5 by 6.0 centimeter wound, and exited the left temple, leaving a 1.5 by 1.0 centimeter wound. That's not possible. It's also in the autopsy report that they could see the indentation of the gun muzzle on the right side. I'm sorry, a 6.5 by 6.0 centimeter wound is bigger around than the gun muzzle. So how is it that a 9mm projectile, which is roughly 1.5 by 1.0 centimeters, how is that going to... Try not to be graphic here, but if they're seeing the indentation of the muzzle, that has the muzzle against the head, making contact. And yet this little bitty projectile, they're saying caused an entrance hole that is bigger around than the barrel of the gun. Think about that for a minute. Bigger around than the barrel of the gun. That's not going to happen. Even if you're shooting a hollow point or something that expands on impact, that's not going to happen with the 9mm. And the fact that there was no fragments found, no bullet fragments found inside of Alex, it was not that kind of round anyway. Obviously, as we all know, anybody who's been around firearms knows the exit wound is always bigger. We've shown in last night's episode, reenactment, that there was no way he could have used his right hand and shot from the left to the right. It was just physically impossible. The reenactments we done last night isn't even a fraction of what we have done with this. We have done so many, and not one of them has laid out the way the coroner's report and the detective's report lays it out. None of these have gone that direction. And I kind of got off of my notes here, so let me get back to it. We do know that Alex is right-handed, the weakness in his left hand. The firearm was found on the right side of Alex's body. Most reports state that the left hand was in his sweatshirt pocket, and that's significant. I will get to here shortly. There is no way Alex could have took the shot, because this is obviously a left to right shot, not a right to left, how they reported it. And there is no way Alex could have taken that shot. And going back to the projectile, even if this was a solid core, a target round, those are still going to mushroom on impact, leaving a larger exit hole than what the entrance hole is. And Again, after many reenactments, we could not replicate a scenario that would fit with the reports made by the detective or the doctor who performed the autopsy. None of these ended how they said it ended. We are continuing to dig into this. We are continuing to work on this. We have at least one more reenactment video we will be releasing, and possibly a couple more videos we will be releasing. And all leading up to our live feed this coming Saturday evening, 8:30 p.m. Central, where we will be focusing on this. So now let me go back to the left hand in his pocket where I said this is significant. I said some reports show left hand in pocket. Here's some of the inconsistencies we've been able to find here. And, well, we'll get into them. Some of the reports show the left hand was in the pocket, in his left sweatshirt pocket. Other reports state that both hands were at his waist. There's one inconsistency there. Number two, there's a report that says the handles on the firearm found on the scene was pink. There's a report that says the handles were pink camouflaged. There's a report that says the handles were purple. In a report, Alex's girlfriend stated she had seen a handgun with purple handles previously before all of this. So now we've got 3 different colors of handles on a firearm that all of these officers and detectives would have seen right there in person, and their colors aren't even consistent. Then we have the test for gunpowder residue. That test was not done. In fact, the detective told Alex's mother, law enforcement does not do this test anymore because it does not hold up in court. Well, one of our viewers, thank you very much for doing this, contacted, I believe it was the Attorney General in the state of Indiana, where this case took place, and asked them that question, does law enforcement still do this? And he was told, absolutely, yes, they still do this. We knew they did. It's part of protocol on an investigation like this. A small test they could have quickly done to determine if Alex had fired the firearm or not was not done. So that's not, I guess it's an inconsistency since it was just an absolute lie. But there's a lot of shortcomings in the investigation in this case. I had a viewer ask me about any footprints there around Alex when they found him. It is in the reports that there were animal and human footprints going through the area. The reports say that the tracks went over to the woods where there's walking trails, and stated that the tracks did not stop near Alex. I want to believe that, but when I see the inconsistencies and the lack of investigation in this case, I cannot in good conscience believe that that's the case. They reported that these were old footprints because they had a layer of snow over them. As Alex's mother commented on the video last night, Alex had a layer of snow over him too. There was 2 or 3 days that Alex was missing, that there was a dusting of snow. So it's unsure how they determined these are old footprints. So much inconsistency with this. And I have spoken with firearm experts. One of our viewers, the same viewer who reached out to the Attorney General, has spoken with firearm experts, and they agree. The whole scenario, as far as right to left, the sizes, everything, that's not possible. The fact that This gun model has a 3.5-inch barrel, 9mm. Most people, it's going to have a recoil, but controllable. 90-pound person, that gun's going to jerk. And it's not going to be straight across either way that you go. It's physically not possible. And I know this is seeming I'm trying to shove my views on you, and I apologize for that. That is not my intent here. I just want you to see where I'm at on this, how I'm getting to where I'm at. We have, like I said, more videos coming out. We have at least one more video that has reenactments of if somebody was there with him and assisted in this. There's going to be reenactments of if they were in a vehicle and this took place. And there may be more reenactments. And again, if there is something you feel that we should reenact to share with you guys to get a better idea, please let us know. If there's any more information you would like to have, please let us know. We will try to get that out here to you. And next Saturday night will be our live feed to where we go over everything together, back and forth with you guys to determine what actually happened here. So till next time, our thoughts and prayers go out to Alex's family. You guys stay safe, and we'll catch you down the road.